deep and rich. So, I live by faith in God, who makes sense of things. Still, there is so much I can't make sense of. As the Apostle Paul puts it, I see through a glass darkly. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 12, King James Version. Through Christ, I really do see, but the darkness lingers. I say this not to valorize my own doubts, but because the last thing you need is someone telling you faith is easy. At least for me, it hasn't been. The fact that you have started listening to this book means that you're likely wondering whether you can hang on to your faith or whether you can return to the faith. I believe you can, if you want to. By this, I don't mean that you can simply generate or sustain faith with a snap of your fingers. What I mean is that if you have a desire to believe, you can learn to seek in such a way that faith will be there in the end. That may sound fishy now, but give us a chance by listening through the book. And for now, hear this. Your doubts probably will not completely vanish anytime soon, but they don't have to have the final word. Doubt doesn't have to incapacitate your faith. I believe in Jesus Christ and the claims of his earliest followers for a variety of what I find to be good reasons. I've learned to keep seeking, digging around in books, talking to other Christians, trying on ancient ways of seeing, and exploring new, but actually old, practices. In other words, through the years, I've found ways to deal with doubt, not to vanquish all my doubts, but to grow through even with them. I've learned God can mysteriously bring good from suffering, including the agony of my doubts. Part of my job is to think hard about hard questions. Because I'm often thinking about these questions, it has occurred to me that I probably have had more doubts through the years than other believers I talk to in my community. I've had to constantly run things over in my mind. For over a decade, I've had conversations about doubt with college students as a professor, and now I have these conversations in the Fellows program I lead as well. One of the reasons Jack and I decided to write this book is that through the years, we've had many conversations about doubt together, first when he was my student, and then also as he became my colleague and friend. Listening to this book will let you listen in on the kinds of conversations Jack and I have had over the years and, we hope, inspire you to build similar friendships. In communicating with you by way of a book rather than in a conversation, we run the risk of not addressing the type of doubt or the kinds of objections that bother you the most. We can't reach through the binding, ask you questions, listen, be sensitive to how the Holy Spirit is working in your life, dialogue with you, and pray with you. The Christian faith is meant to be lived out with friends who will do all those things, which we can't do in a book. Nevertheless, because we've observed many people languishing in doubt all around us, we felt called to offer up this little book. In sharing what we've learned through the years, it traces at least one path to the faith, hope, and love we have continued to find in communion with a God who is really there, though who at times can feel hidden. You might be interested to know that I only reluctantly took on the calling to be an apologist. In most of my theological circles at the time, the cool theologians and philosophers stayed out of apologetics. Peer pressure is no less powerful in the world of theology than it is on the playground, and I wanted to be part of the in crowd. Plus, I didn't care for heated arguments. At the time, apologetics often felt to me like what college freshmen did late at night in the dorms, one-upping the other with abstract arguments that most people couldn't care less about. But I sensed the Lord calling me into it, so I went, albeit aware of the dangers.